And with that, it's time for Monica Villela Grayley.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. We will start, of course, with the Human Rights Council election in the General Assembly, and afterwards I have 3 more notes for you. And let's start. The General Assembly has elected 15 new members for the Human Rights Council in the African region, which had 4 vacant seats were elected. Burundi, with 168 votes. Côte d'Ivoire, 181. Ghana, 179. And Malawi, 182. Following the vote today, the Asia-Pacific states will designate 4 seats in the Human Rights Council. Thank you, Carolina. And they are China, which received 154 votes, Indonesia, 186, Japan, 175, and Kuwait, 183. In the group of Eastern European states, Albania secured a seat with 123 votes, and Bulgaria was elected with 160 votes. The Russian Federation received 83 votes and was not elected. In the group of the Latin American and Caribbean states, the 3 vacant seats were filled by Brazil with 144 votes, Cuba 146, and Dominican Republic 137. Peru obtained 108 votes, but was not elected. The 2 seats of Western European and other states will be occupied by France, which received 153 votes, and the Netherlands, which was elected with 169 votes. Now, the 15 elected members will serve for a period of 3 years, starting on 1st of January 2024 until December 2026, and more information on our website. The President of the General Assembly has joined the Secretary General and UN agencies in asking for a strong support to deliver much-needed humanitarian aid to the population in Gaza. Mr. Francis is deeply concerned with the serious situation of civilians in the area. The UN Palestinian Refugee Agency, UNRWA, has informed that it is nearing its maximum capacity to help internally displaced people, whilst other UN agencies called for the creation of humanitarian corridors. The PJ has urged all parties to exercise maximum restraint and for all stakeholders to engage in diplomatic discussions to de-escalate the situation, leading to a path for lasting peace in the region. Now, today, as you know, we have, of course, International Day in the UN calendar, and the PJ has issued a tweet. He said that mental health is a human right, yet 1 in 8 people globally are living with mental health conditions. On World Mental Health Day, which is today, he calls for greater efforts to provide adequate mental health support and to create an inclusive and respectful society for all. And you can find out more on the PJ's X account. Okay, tomorrow, 11th of October, the President of the General Assembly will hold an informal dialogue with young delegates from permanent missions to the UN to discuss the work of the General Assembly. In a letter to member states, Mr. Francis recognized the important role of youth in addressing the current complex crisis faced by our world. The meeting is also in line with the PJ's commitment to seeking input and contributions of youth delegates. For the GA leader, the meeting will also be an opportunity to further discuss ways to ensure the effective participation of youth in the work of the United Nations. And last but not least, the PJ has written a letter to member states announcing a call for application, or applications, I should say, for the President of the General Assembly Fellowship Program during this session. The initiative, which was launched, you may remember, 2 sessions ago, grants an opportunity to young diplomats to spend several months working in the office of the President of the GA and helping to find solutions to complex and interlinked global challenges towards peace, prosperity, progress, and sustainability. The PJ Fellowship is fully in line with the growing recognition of the potential of youth to contribute to multilateralism, candidates will come from developing countries, particularly from least developing countries, landlocked developing countries, and the small island developing countries to New York, to here, for training, mentorship, and the immersion in the work of the UN. And Mr. Francis has asked member states to contribute, of course, to the trust fund to support financially the PGA Fellowship initiative. This is everything we have for today. Do you have anything else? Yes, how are you?
Thank you. How are you? Thanks
Fine,
very
thank
much. So my question is just following on from what Farhan said about the Human Rights Council elections today. Member states who are elected to the Council will be expected to open up their human rights records for examination. Can you explain a little bit how that will work? What form will that take?
Sure. The members are elected for a 3-year period, as you know, and it starts on the 1st January. We have these questions after elections usually. And what we have to say from the PGA's point of view or position is that this is a decision that is taken by the General Assembly, a sovereign body, the most democratic body of the United Nations, and they elect the candidates they see fit. So 15 candidates were elected today. Of course, what the president has called and continues to call is that member states, which are elected, and he said that in his speech today, take this opportunity that they are given with full commitment and responsibility to exactly the responsibilities involved in this particular mandate, which are the respect for human rights. So each member state or each candidate elected today are expected to abide by these rules. And so that's what he conveys as his message to all candidates and member states which were elected today. Thank you. Evelyn and then Benno. Go ahead. Evelyn.
Okay.
Oh, it's just the microphone. It's okay.
I
Go ahead.
think I'd never done this before. Anyway, thank you, Monica.
You're welcome.
Does anyone evaluate the human rights record that these countries present?
Countries introduce or submit, I would say, the vision when they, of course, present their candidacies for this body and other bodies of the United Nations. And I think they will have a 3-year mandate, and of course they will be observed closely and followed closely. But you will remember that the same body we are talking about, the Human Rights Council, has the Universal Periodic Review, where every member state is assessed. And so there's also an opportunity for this accountability mechanism to take place. Thank you. Benno, go ahead.
Thank you. You said that members for the human rights members of the UN are voting for the Human Rights Council countries if they see them fit in the Human Rights Council. Reality is, though, that many of the slates are uncontested and they are just voting for the only 2 or 4 countries that are actually running. Would the PGA hope that there's more contested slates, so more of a choice for member states?
Okay, so first, the first part of your question. The fact that you have what we call the clean slate, and for perhaps people who are watching us online, a clean slate means when you have 4 vacant seats and 4 candidates, so you don't have more candidates than seats. So there is this perception that they all will be elected, right? But at the end of the day, it's a decision by the General Assembly to elect these candidates or not. So clean slate is a technical expression that we use, but in reality, it's, again, a decision by member states to vote or not for the candidates. Today, we had a different situation. We had two groups where there was a contested election, more candidates than seats, and member states made a decision. Some candidates were not elected, and others were. So, again, it is a decision by the General Assembly. So the president has not to interfere in any process. So if he says, oh, yes, I wish there would be more candidates or less candidates, he will be interfering. And his role is to be a facilitator, not to interfere in any elections. So we hope to keep this process in a democratic manner. But thank you for your question. I understand. Go ahead.
Thank you. Just to be clear, how exactly will the General Assembly compel these countries that have been elected to the Human Rights Council to open up their human rights record for scrutiny?
This is a matter for the Human Rights Council now. They are elected by the General Assembly. Their work is done in the Human Rights Council. The headquarters, you know, is in Geneva, right? And again, I don't think that today that was a matter for today. This is a matter for campaigns. All these countries campaign before the elections. Yeah, they don't come a week before and say, "Look, I'm a candidate. Vote for me." No, there is a campaign, organized campaign by member states, and member states who vote for these candidates, of course, have the opportunity to examine the issues that you are talking about and that are important. And I understand your question. But again, this is the election is done. Now their work will start on 1st of January. And then I'm sure you also will keep an eye. Yeah? Stefano, go ahead.
Thank you. Is the President of the General Assembly organizing or trying to organize a debate about the crisis at the moment in Gaza, the General Assembly?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we spoke about that today. So his office is open to member states which wish to express their concerns and their suggestions. So at the moment, as we speak, there is no meeting or such meeting scheduled. But his office is open to listen to all. Yes. Thank you so much. I see some colleagues in the back, so I just say hello and welcome. And if you don't have anything else, I see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. I see you tomorrow. Thank you.